aren't tagged in this.
No, we just decided that we'd do it for funsies. We're not tagged in this, but as you guys probably know, and if not, we can link it down below. This past spring, we buddy read Jurassic Park with Erica at Perks at Books and Sue and Megan at the restricted section, and we were all chatting, and we decided that we should do the Jurassic Park book tag.
Yep.
So that's what we're gonna do today.
Yes.
It's 10 questions with book answers. You know how tags work, and if not, where the hell have you been?
Places.
Just doing stuff. Hello, Spencer. Alright, so I guess let's get started. You want to read the first one?
Sure. What's your favorite dinosaur?
I said that my favorite dinosaur is a Stegosaurus because, frankly, I think they're underrated and I love an underdog.
They're pretty cool. I said Velociraptors. They're badass.
That's true. Especially when they're coming through that skylight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to eat your face off.
Spencer.
Cool peeps.
Spencer, are you a Velociraptor? Yes. He's so vicious. He doesn't know what he's trying to do right now. He's trying to climb in between our two laps. Hi, bud. Alright, next question. Number 2. Alan Grant. Name a character that you think would survive Jurassic Park.
I'm going to say Tarzan of the Apes. Because apparently you can just drop him into any weird fucking ass situation and he's just going to kick ass and make all the ladies go, oh, hey.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. It's unrealistic, so I think that he can survive it.
Probs. I am going to go with Van Helsing from Dracula. He's a badass. He's wonderful, and he's like prepared for anything all the time. I feel like he would just be like, oh yes, this dinosaur, here's how you beat it, and he would just like, no, and just like have these tools on hand handy to just like kick Velociraptor ass.
Yeah.
So, I'm going with.
Ellie Sattler. Name a character who is willing to risk their life to save others.
Guys. There's only one in my brain ever, and it's Johnny!
How did I know that was coming?
You guys, I don't know if you guys have read The Outsiders yet, or if you decided you could skip it because you've heard about it enough here. That's probably true. But Johnny not only is a bad boy with a heart of gold, but he actually does risk his life to save other people in this book. He saves a bunch of kids from a burning building, because of course he fucking does.
And then he dies.
And then he dies. I love Johnny. But it's not just because of, like, bad boy, whatever. Like, he's legitimately one of the best people that exists in that story, and he's wonderful.
I said Piggy from Lord of the Flies, because I couldn't think of anybody. And Sam was like, Piggy. And I was like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he definitely gets, like, crushed by a boulder, because he's trying to, like, save Ralph from shenanigans.
Yep.
Spoilers!
Everybody dies.
Everybody fucking dies.
Oh,
Or almost dies. Like, there's a lot of death in that book for being about children.
Yeah. Both of them, kind of. I mean, those are older children, mostly.
Yeah, there's only, like, a couple deaths in Outsiders.
That's true.
There's an injury. Plenty injuries. Alright, next question.
There's potential for death.
There's potential for death, and there is some death, and the circumstances of the deaths are very different.
Yeah.
Ian Malcolm, a book in which you could predict the ending.
I said, this is not my hat. Because the whole time he's like, I stole this hat.
They'll never know.
Never gonna know.
I'll
Then
be
he knows.
fine. And then
he's like, a crab saw me, but he said he wouldn't tell him where it was. And the crab tells him where it is. It's like, okay, so the big fish is gonna get the little fish. And it's not gonna end well for the little fish. And then he gets eaten.
Probs, that poor little fish. Yeah, it's more implied than direct, but like...
But essentially I was like, alright, well, he's gonna get caught.
Yeah, that fish definitely gets eaten.
We have a copy of that in our house now.
Which is pretty exciting.
But it was buried.
Yeah, there's like
digging it out.
There's a love seat in front of our
Our
bookshelves, and so like the bottom shelf is really inaccessible, and that's where all my kids' books are. So,
Yep.
all right, I went with City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. It's kind of true of most of the books in that series that I've read so far. I'm plugging along. I have one of them out from the library now. Haven't started it yet, but that book, we talked about it in our actual video about it, where like we were reading it, and I was like, oh, know who this kid's dad is gonna be? Oh, this is eerily similar to Star Wars. Oh, there's all this other shit going on. So like it was pretty easy to kind of predict what was gonna happen, despite the fact that like it seems like a lot of people who read it got like their minds blown by that series kind of in general, and I'm just not seeing it.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yep.
All right. Dennis Nedry, a character who is willing to put others in danger for their own benefit.
Another favorite book of mine. Characters are much worse people. You've heard me talk about this once or twice. I said Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights because that hoe does not give a fuck what happens to anyone. He is gonna get his Kathy, come what may, and fuck them bitches in the process, kinda.
Alright.
He's a douche, but like, I don't even care.
I said Voldemort. Because it's Voldemort.
And if you don't know,
Now you know.
Mr. President. Oh, fucking hell. Alright, next one is, Brachiosaurus, a book you took a long time to finish. She's gonna get really mad for a second here, you guys.
I couldn't find my copy. I think I might have sold it. I think I just
Yeah, I think you might have sold it when we went to Half Price last time.
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I decided to. Was Sleepy Hollow and Other Stories. I've got Sam's copy of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle, which is just the 2 stories and not a whole bunch of bullshit.
But like really anything by Washington Irving.
Yeah, he's a racist, misogynistic
Like,
asshole.
fuck. He's just a
Judgmental asshole. He just looks down on everybody and
Who's throwing shit?
I'm always throwing shit and almost with that
At
book.
least you didn't almost break any lamps this time.
Yeah.
That happened once.
I didn't actually break the lamp.
No, almost
I
broke the lamp. I said at least you didn't almost break it.
Yeah.
It's fine. She didn't break my lamp. It's fine.
But yeah, it took me like 2 years to actually finish it. It wasn't even a long book. I just hated
it's like
it.
8.5 pages long, but she was just like not having it.
I hate it. So much.
I'll say I went with House of Leaves by Mark C. Danielewski. We've brought this up in a bunch of tags. I can't get shit in frame. We've brought it up in a bunch of tags. We've got 3 individual videos about this book. We took an entire month, a little over a month, to read this. For me, that's a pretty long time. And that month, if we hadn't been reading it for the channel, it would have taken way longer. I don't know if I'd have finished it. It was a struggle.
Yeah.
We've talked about it a lot. If you don't know, there's videos we can link. So,
Yeah. Those are great.
You again.
T-Rex, a book you found intimidating but ended up loving.
Alright, I have Amber's copy of this because I cannot find mine in our house anywhere. Didn't know where. I probably loaned it to somebody and they never gave it back. Is probably what happened. Because that happens to me a lot. Real cute. I have A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. I love this book, I really do, but it is a little bit intimidating, especially when I first read it, because, like, there's a whole other kind of language in it, like the characters kind of have invented slang, and the edition I read did not have a glossary, so you had to kind of guess what everything meant. Also, there's some, like, real deep, dark, weird shit that goes down in this book. So for being something really tiny, it was really intimidating, and but I'm really glad I read it, because I liked it a lot. I mean, it is a dystopian, so.
I said Cloud Atlas. It was like it wasn't even like I was that intimidated before I read it. like, oh, whatever, I can read it. Fuck you. But, like, then I started reading it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm getting it. What the fuck?
Right.
And, but yeah, so it's kind of like I read it, and I was overwhelmed by it after I read it, and immediately I was like, I want to read it again. But I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I just know there's so much more here that I could pick up on. With a reread, and then another reread, and a reread, and a reread.
Alright. So, next one is Velociraptor, a book that's fast-paced.
It starts off with shit happening,
And then shit just keeps happening.
and then shit just keeps happening, and it doesn't stop, and you can't put it down, and you need to know, and it's awesome.
I feel this way about the 2/3 of the trilogy I've read so far, but specifically about this book. And that's Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. I've talked about the Discovery of Witches books before. The trilogy is, I think, technically called the All Souls trilogy. I own the 3rd book and haven't read it. I need to reread the first 2 before I do. Because I waited a really long time in between reading the 2nd and then when the 3rd one came out.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I don't keep up with current series, by the way, you guys. Because, like, I'm not about it. That whole, like, waiting game.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's got some time travel and some historical figures, and it's a lot more action-packed than the first one, even though the first one's pretty fast-paced. This one I read in, like, a night. Because I was just like, oh, fuck, what's happening? So, like, you kind of just, it moves.
Pterodactyl, a book that flew you to another world.
We've talked about this one once or twice. Ish. And that is The Never-Ending Story by Michael Ende.
I definitely almost also said that.
This is definitely my non-fucked-up copy. This book is great. We cannot say enough good things about it. The movie is garbage.
Yeah.
We still have to do a video about it because we drew it from the TBR jar, read it book, and watch the adaptation. But it really takes you into literally another world that's actually like inside of a book, which is kind of awesome. Bastion's a douche, but the book's great.
Yeah. I'm saying Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. You feel like you're in the world of 1930 whatever Japan, and it's so different from anything that I grew up knowing personally. I
finally got a copy of that recently, so
yeah, it's pretty great. If you guys are at all interested in us doing a review of that, let us know. We'll pop it up.
We've got 2 copies
our
between the
list.
2 of us now, so we've been wanting to read it and do a video for a while anyway, because I've never read it, so.
Yeah, and I've wanted to reread it since I finished it.
But if you're interested, we'll move it up the priority list, because we've got a backlog of videos taller than me, and I'm 6 feet tall. So, alright. And then last question is Triceratops. Tag 3 people to do this tag.
We are going to tag Sue and Megan from the restricted section.
So that's 2 people, count them.
And Erica at Perks and Books.
Right. Because they read Jurassic Park with us, and they should do this tag.
And they're also 3 people.
And they're also all awesome. And check out their channels. We'll link them down yonder. And yeah. Also, we didn't talk about this. This is another one. We've got this beer. Yeah. It's fucking spectacular. This is called the Lust Weissbier. It's a wheat beer, and it's got banana and clove in it. It's from St. Francis Brewery in St. Francis, Wisconsin. They had beers named after, it's a local place. They had a bunch of beers named after the Deadly Sins.
Yeah, it was pretty great. We had a lot of fun trying the sampler today.
And then we bought 2 growlers, so 64 ounces of beer to go to take home with you. So if you're ever in the Milwaukee area, check them out. Their prices are really reasonable.
Yeah, they are.
The sampler was $8, and you got to try 8 beers.
Different beers.
And there was 4-ounce samples, so you got 2 pints of beer for $8, and it's all house brewed stuff. You get 2 seasonals, and there's 6 regular everyday beers.
Yeah, it's
and this one is one of their available all the time ones. The other one we got is a peanut butter porter. That's seasonal. They ran out when we bought it, which was very sad. But
yeah, we got the last of it. like they could literally only fill a third of the growler.
But they did prorate it
Yeah.
for filling the growler.
So
They
that was
didn't
fair.
charge us for the full thing because they couldn't fill it. So that was nice. But that place was awesome. We recommend it.
Yeah. So definitely check them out.
If you're ever in the Milwaukee area. But yeah, so that was our Jurassic Park book tag. That was our beer. That's what we got for you today. Have a great day. Bye.